Hi everybody, I'm Jonathan. So I'm just going to go through really quick the Philips defibrillator, just what we call the defibrillator drill, where we check all the functions with the simulator box. Okay, so Brandon, if you could do a close-up, we want to make sure first you have a green light that it's plugged in. You want to check the ready to use indicator. If it has an X, that's bad. It should have an hourglass, but you could try to reset it to see if you get it to work just by turning it on to any joule setting. If you keep looking, it should show an hourglass, which is good. Real quick, if we look at the screen, this is the date and time, and this is the time that since you turned the defibrillator on. And then we'll quickly go into the modes. First one is manual defibrillation. So what I'm going to do is, with the simulator box, we're going to set it to, you could set it to VFib, VTAC, and if you see the rhythm changes there. So we're going to be practicing as if we're defibrillating an actual patient. And so I'll set it to 150 joules. It's a minimum setting for a biphasic defibrillator. And I want you to execute it with proper shock safety. This will be the patient, right? So I want you to verbally and visually clear the patient. So I'm charging, and what I do with my finger here is I keep it close. You see that, Brandon? So that I can press I know where the button's at when I actually press, when I actually shock the patient. So I'm looking at my patient, I say verbally clear, and I'm looking at the patient the whole time while I press the shock button. There we go. Next mode.
Can you show them how to connect it to the box?
Oh yeah. So connecting to the box, the defibrillator cable hooks up right here, right at the top of the box, and the limb leads.
Without sign of compression.
If you need to attach them.
If you need to attach them, the telemetry leads go here, V1, and all the limb leads, they're all marked.
Okay.
Right arm, left leg. All right, so back to this. We want to do synchronized cardioversion. So what I'll do is minimum setting is 50 joules. I'm going to set this to, well,
You can use a SVT.
so you could use paroxysmal SVT, but it's going to go in and out. You see that? So I like to use sinus tac or A flutter. Actually, A flutter is pretty quick. So look, heart rate in the 140s, narrow complex tachycardia. We'll set it to 50 joules of manual defibrillation. Turning on the sync button, it's right here. It's like the invisible button because it doesn't have any like colors that contrast with the housing. You press it to turn it on. This is the 2-minute silence. Silence that. So you have these white marks that mark the R waves, and the sync indicator right here in the upper right corner is green. That shows that you're synchronized. Now, when you execute the shock in the synchronized mode, you actually have to hold the shock button down a little bit longer because it has to synchronize with the R waves. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge. I'm going to do shock safety just like I did with defibrillation, where I keep my finger close to the button. This is my patient. Verbally and visually clear the patient. So everyone clear the patient. I'm going to shock in 3, 2, 1, and I hold the button down. The whole time I'm looking at the patient. And so, just real quick, Brandon, so if I want to synchronize and shock again, if you see it's not synchronized anymore, you have to synchronize it every time you shock them. Another thing is, to turn it off, you press the sync button and see it turned off. Now another mechanism, that safety mechanism that this thing has, is if the QCPR puck is activated when they're actually doing CPR, I want you to look at this. If it actually goes and is activated by CPR, the synchronized button actually turns off. All right, let's go into pacer mode. So now, hit the 2-minute silence again. Now I'm going to put it in a bradycardia. Let's just put it in 3rd degree. So if you guys look at I'm in 3rd degree heart block now. These are the white marks that mark the R waves, not to be confused with pacer spikes. Okay, guys? The pacer mode is the only mode where both the telemetry leads and the defibrillator both need to be hooked up for it to work. Otherwise, if I disconnect one, you'll see it'll say connect EKG cable and attach leads. Alright, so now I'm connected, and the first thing I do is set it to pacer mode and press start pacing. These are your default settings. 80 is the rate and 50 milliamps is the output. If you look here, these are the pacer spikes. I don't have capture. So what I want to do is press the output and I want to go up on my MA. You can go up pretty quick, pretty much. Oh, there we go. So now I have capture. I'll go down one, see if this is my threshold. Yeah, so I lost capture. So 70 MA looks like it's my threshold. And then I'll go up one more click just to make sure it's safe. And then I could set it. And then if you want to adjust the rate, you hit the rate. You can go down to 60 or whatever you like, whatever the physician wants. That's it with pacer mode. A couple more things. Do we have time for monitor mode?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Monitoring a patient in the monitor mode. So a couple of things that are more advanced. So when CPR, the CPR puck is activated by CPR, you see this is the rate of CPR. This is the compression quality. Your goal is to hit the solid line. So if I'm going
Under the solid line?
yeah, you want to, these are good compressions. If I'm not coming up for full recoil, it's going to look like you'll get these white dots, which I can't really replicate. It's kind of hard. Anyway, so you don't want white dots and you want to hit the red line. Also, this is the CPR clock. So as soon as you start CPR, this blue line, when this fills up all the way, this is 2 minutes.
15 seconds without sign of compression.
And it won't reset until you either deliver a shock, I think until you deliver a shock. Alright, and that's just the real quick drill that we want everyone to do
30
in the
seconds
training.
without sign of compression.
Is that good? Did I get everything?